So if the bite itself didn't kill that prey item, so drag that back into the water, drown that item, bring it to thread. Probably go into the water to the water, that was the dry rabbit. Anybody have any questions? I have a U-shaped snout with his teeth, all of his upper teeth facing downward. A crocodile has a more V-shaped mouth with all of his teeth facing up and downward. So it looks like Albert's smiling right now if he closes his teeth. And sometimes on the American alligator, the fourth tooth of the lower jaw does protrude up. Now when they're babies, this is the coolest part of what I think about American alligators is the males will start bellowing and they'll arch their backs and they'll vibrate the water on their backs and they'll become very territorial, which is what he's doing to me right now. He's being very territorial. They'll mate with other females, and the females will build these nests made out of rotting wood, rotting leaves, and grasses. And the temperature of that rotting maintains the temperatures of the eggs. It's very specific in that 93 degrees Fahrenheit or higher, all of those clutches of eggs will come out male. And if it's 30 degrees Fahrenheit or below, all of those clutches of eggs will come out female. So it was a really great successful program in the 1960s to bring them out of critical danger, but with that capability and knowing how to breed their eggs properly based on these temperature modifications. Now his diet, his teeth are conical, kind of like snow cone, conical. And they're not meant for cutting and shredding, they're meant for holding on, grasping, and tearing large chunks of prey. And that's what he'll do. If the bite itself doesn't kill the prey, then he'll drag it into the water for it to drown and be digested. They have amazing immune abilities in that they'll drag their prey down to rot and soften up that meat and then swallow it in large chunks or sometimes even whole. There have been crocodiles known without limbs or eyeballs found in sewage systems, and they're actually being scientifically studied for their amazing immune abilities and their healing abilities because they can heal so fast. He has about 74 to 80 teeth inside of that jaw, and he can continuously replace them throughout his lifetime. Probably about 3,000 teeth throughout his lifetime. Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Abilene Zoo. How are y'all doing today?
Good.
All right. Well, today we're presenting Albert, the American alligator. Now, Albert's a special animal here at the Abilene Zoo in that he's the oldest living animal we have here at the zoo. He is about 60 to 65 years old. He used to be located over in Elm Creek before he was located over here in the American wetlands. Now, a little bit about Albert is that he is 13 feet long. He weighs about 400 to 500 pounds. He is station fed, so we have stationed him to hopefully stay here and feed until we present the rabbit for him to feed. Well, I give you a little bit about his anatomy and natural history on his life. As you can see, Albert is a reptile, so he's covered in scales. And those big bumps on the back of him are called scutes, and directly beneath them are bone. And in the 1960s, the American alligator was critically endangered because people were hunting him for his skin. Some tribes even used the back of his back as shields during war because the bone is extremely strong. So if I were to jump on top of him, I would probably get cut up just by touching his skin. It's very strong. Reptiles are cold-blooded, so they need the sun to maintain their heat and also regulate their metabolism and digest their food. So that's why after Albert eats here, in about 20 minutes to a half hour or so, you'll see him either basking on the island or basking over here because he's digesting the rabbit that we just gave him. Now his eyes, nostrils, and ears are located on the top of his head. That way, he has the ability to completely submerge his body underneath the water and just barely be seen as maybe some driftwood or something like that. Meanwhile, his eyes, ears, and nostrils are open to the environment so he can see if there's any prey along on top of the water. And he also has sensory receptors on the bottom of his jaw so that if a fish goes below his jaw, he can even sense that. He's what you call an apex predator. An apex predator means that they are at the top of their food chain in their environment. Let me just back up a little bit more. Alright. Maybe he'll chase us out because he's super hungry.